Hey everybody, Nerdy Transformed here again, and today I'm reviewing the Transformers Power to Prime's Leader Class Evolution Optimus Prime, or Orion Pax if you prefer. So this figure is a Leader Class, and he's going for about $45 right about now. He is part of Wave 1 and Wave 2 from what I've seen, so he's probably the most likely Leader Class you'll find. I do have his card right here. You can see it says Optimus Prime, has a very nice image on the front. And on the back we can see he is Optimus Amalgamus. I'm probably pronouncing all kinds of wrong. But it says takes enemy forms to broker peace from within their ranks. So Optimus is a shapeshifter now. Alright then. But yeah, this is our newest Optimus Prime. You can see for once we actually got Optimus Prime. It comes with a G1 trailer, but it also comes with a load of problems, but we'll get to that. I will gotta say this now, overall, his vehicle mode is not as nice as Raw Missing Chronic's was. It's still not bad, but it's not as nice, is all I gotta say. But first off, can he roll with his trailer? And he can. And his trailer is a separate piece. It does just connect on the hinge back here. Unfortunately, without the truck there, there's nothing to hold it up. There's nothing that extends outward, nothing to fold down. You can't plug the weapon down here to hold it up. It just sits like that without Optimus there. And as you can see, the weapon does plug into the top. But we're going to start with the trailer truck first. And looking at it from the front, it looks pretty good. I mean, granted, you do see a matrix of leadership just sitting there staring at you, which is where it's stored in this mode. But you can remove that if you bother, so you can see very decent truck mode. So that all looks nice and good. Lots of nice detail, a little bit panely from how the transformation goes, but a lot of nice paint. Silver for the grille, silver for the bumper. A little bit off to the sides, even some silver for the rearview mirrors. Yellow lights, all looking good. Looks very nice, and then we turn it to the side, and oh dear lord, what the heck, what train hit this vehicle? It might not look too bad at first, like, oh, okay, they try to flatten it out, until you look at it from the top and realize the entire back half of the front cab is just bent inward. I mean, granted, as it is, it's still, even if it was full, like, flowing properly, it still would look kind of bad, but at least it would kind of make a flat, full cab. But here, yeah, basically everything from the front part backward just looks like a mess. Now, I did try to salvage it. I mean, you do get some paint up. I wish more paint got over here, because the only paint you get is the very front here. You get some paint, some silver right there, some blue for the little side windows. No paint in the back at all, except for some silver brown here, but that's more for the Orion Pax mode. But you do get a lot of Optimus details. You have little canisters down here at the sides. You get some like little bolting details up here. You do get the wheels with some nice rim detailing on it. And they actually are different wheels from the front, which is pretty nice too. And that's about it, to be honest, for niceties. The rest of it is all bleh. For one thing, even along the bottom here, where they try to make it more cohesive, there's a big old knee joint just staring at you. From the back, you can see his feet, and they don't even try to hide the split. The hinge that the truck sits on is literally just Orion Pax's head stuffed in there. It doesn't tab in, doesn't click in or anything, it just sits there. The chest plate's just hanging down right here. The arms are clearly just sitting right there. No smokestacks or anything to try to fold it up or anything. Speaking of smokestacks, they're just sitting here unpainted and they're just hinge joints. So at first it might not even look like a smokestack. And yeah, it's all cohesive. Nothing's flopping around or anything, thankfully, but none of it actually goes together, if that makes sense. As far as connection, yeah, it's not flopping around, but as far as how it looks like a trailer truck that got smashed by its own trailer. So there is that. So, truck mode, not too good. Decent, they give it a good old college try, but gonna have to give you a D on that assignment, sir. Now look at the trailer, it came out a lot better. Not perfect, but better. You know, looking at it straight on from the front, yeah, it's just Transformer pieces, especially all this red right here for the robot mode. But from the side, that is definitely G1 Optimus' trailer. They even got the G1 sticker going across, and these stickers seem to be doing okay online. I know for some people they're coming off. The worst one for me is this little middle piece right here that's sitting on the panel. It's kind of slanted and it's starting to peel off in certain directions. This side's a little bit better. But for the most part, for these stickers, I've been doing the best out of most of the Power to Prime stickers. The back actually looks pretty nice, which I know is a weird compliment, but it's kind of weird how often these trailers get done wrong on the back. Granted, it is a bright blue compared to the rest that's gray, but it is a very solid looking back. More solid than, you know, that mess. So yeah, really good looking truck. I got wheels there. You do get like exposure to legs. Looking at the bottom, it's just kind of like a hollow shell. And looking from the top is where one of its weaknesses show. Now, it is fairly solid, except for right here. Right here is where you can peg in the gun, and we'll go ahead and show you that just to show how it goes in there. There's a peg on each side, and you can peg it in here near the handle like I did, or you can peg it up here if you want it sticking out a bit more. But you can see without the gun there, there's just a big old gap. I mean, there's little caps here, but at least it looks like maybe like a container kind of thing. Up here, yeah, it's just the arms sitting there without anything to kind of make them look like a cab. So that is quite a bit unfortunate, but granted, if they put a big old panel here to cover all that, that probably would have made a huge amount of back kibble. So I can kind of forgive it to an extent. So the trailer overall is pretty alright. I do wish the back could open up, because it actually is hollow in here, to where you could actually probably store a vehicle in there. But there's no way to open this up without starting to transform the whole thing. So that's also unfortunate. As far as putting it back onto the trailer, you just use this little stick here that's on the hinge. Goes right there into the back of Orion Bax's head. And there's your trailer. Now for some comparisons with some other well-known Optimuses. I'll go ahead and get Power to Prime's Optimus a little off to the side here. Bring the camera back actually a little. And here's Classics Optimus. You can see he's quite a bit bigger. Not a huge amount, I mean, but he is bigger still, and a lot more solid if you want to look at just the trailers. And trailer, I mean, you can put the trailer on Classics Optimus and it actually looks alright, but it doesn't quite work unless you have it sitting back here. Or, you know, you could bring these up, get a little bit more on there. And it looks alright. He doesn't drag it too well, but you can actually get that going if you want. So there's that. And I don't have the Titan's Return Power Master Prime or any version of that mold, like the Japanese one. But I do have Platinum Edition Ultra Magnus, who's the same mold, or the original mold for that. And you can see next to each other, they actually look pretty good. They're both, you know, trucks pulling trailers and everything. Ultra Magnus pulls it off a lot better, of course, but they both look pretty good, like their G1 toys. So yeah, overall, vehicle mode is alright. I would give it a passing, but only just barely. Mainly because the trailer does look so good, and the front of the truck does look really nice. Plus, once you see the air modes, you can kind of see where a lot of the budget for this figure went. So we are going to go ahead and put him into Orion Pax mode. I am going to go ahead and put the Matrix back in here just so I don't lose it. And the hardest part about the Matrix is that wedge it, you just kind of wedge it in there. It doesn't have a set place like it did on Optimus. It kind of just gets wedged into a place. And granted, it's not going anywhere, but it's kind of hard to set in there. From here, it's not too bad, but once you get into the combined mode, it does become a bit more difficult. But let's start by getting them to Orion Pax mode. So to start that, grab the front wheels and just flip these up. This will reveal the fake windows that become Optimus Prime's chest. And these whole panels do come out on double hinges and cover over the real truck windows, like so. And all that was basically just kibble form, and the rest will actually be into the robot mode. Go ahead and grab the back of the trailer, untab it from the chest plate there, bring it on down, spread the legs and rotate them forward, flip out the back pieces to form his feet, or what were obviously his feet. Go ahead and take these bits that are obviously the arms, move on the way, reveal Optimus Prime's head, bring him on down. You gotta rotate the arms around, bring it on around, tab in place, bring the arms down and flip out the hands. And rotate them forward. Rotate out the hands. Rotate forward. And last, you're going to take this whole panel, flip it up to form the chest, and flip this piece down, tab it in to make the head. And there you have Orion Pax in his robot mode. Yep, he'll stand. There we go. And now we got Orion Pax in his robot mode. I gotta say, he's a very nice looking Orion Pax. This is definitely where the robot modes for this guy is definitely where a lot of the budget went into instead of the vehicle modes. Rodimus might have had a really great looking vehicle mode, but his robot modes kind of suffer for it with the Nemesis Hot Rod having kind of weird proportions. Compared to Orion Pax here, he might still look a little odd and alien, but it fits the G1 Orion Pax's design. Let's get a good look at that head, and I gotta say that is a beautiful head sculpt for Orion Pax. I know they made another Orion recently with the Generations doing 30 line, but that one was kind of like already transitioning to an Optimus. This one's very much, you know, library clerk Optimus Orion Pax here. Very scrawny, very weird proportions, very much not a warrior yet. And I just really like his head sculpt. It just looks really cool. It's very much 80s robot design look to it. And the chest does kind of still emulate the Optimus kind of design. You got the like window little thing there with a little Autobot symbol there. Do got some yellow lights. You got kind of a little 6 or 4-pack going. The arms got a nice detail. I do wish they got some paint on there, like maybe some silver along the sides here, or maybe a little bit on the shoulders. But they do look good. The hands are blue as you expect for Orion packs. No real painting on the legs, but you do get some stickers. And okay, you do get a little bit of silver going around the sides there, although it is kind of ruined by the little tab sticking there. Hollow legs, which is really unfortunate. I mean, they are very hollow. Same with the arms. That's the unfortunate thing about this figure, is just how much hollowing there's going on. But, you know, if you can ignore it, it looks really, really good. And talking about size, much like Hot Rod, he is not really a deluxe size, he's more of a Voyager size. As if we bring in the Classics Optimus here, you can see they are nearly the same in height. In fact, I think Orion Pax is actually slightly taller at the top of the crest here. It's kind of hard to see with my camera angle, but if we straighten it out and bring these two up, you see they're actually almost the same height. I think, like I said, I think Orion Pax is actually slightly taller. And just to bring him in as well, here's Platinum Edition Ultra Magnus, who is of course quite larger, for now anyway. But yeah, he looks pretty good with them, to be honest. Unfortunately, there's nothing for the trailer to do in this mode, or just sit there and be a trailer. But you can bring in his weapon and split it for Orion Pax mode, and give him the front half to be like a little pistol, which looks pretty good. Looks really nice. And you give him the back half as a second gun as well, but it doesn't quite look as nice. It pretty much just says, hey, this is your half of the gun that doesn't quite look like a gun. I mean, you could conceivably pretend it's like a flamethrower or something, but I tend not to give that to him. I tend to leave this with the trailer over here, which you can actually try to use to kind of stand it up, because you can just peg it in like so. And conceivably you could try to use that as like a kickstand for the trailer, which is nice. I mean, it does kind of work. It does make the trailer at least standing straight now, and that does actually look pretty good. It gives somewhere to store that without having a weird gun, and it gives him a nice little pistol. And I gotta say, that look works really well for me. I think that's a very nice Orion Pax there. Now, not holding a big old cannon, but a nice little pistol, enough to defend himself, but not anything heavy duty, because he's not a warrior. And I think that works really well. I mean, really, the only thing I wish there was is I wish there was a way to put the Matrix in here, not just have the Optimus head staring at you. Actually, now think about it. Can you put the Matrix inside of Ultra Magnus? I know it's not made for that, but can you kind of get the look going? Let's see. Let's see if you can kind of just set that in there. Yeah, you could conceivably just have the Matrix sitting like that, and it actually holds there pretty well. Oh, until you try to close it. Can we get that in there and close it? Yeah, you can. It's slightly ajar, but you can conceivably put the Matrix inside of Ultra Magnus if you wanted. So that's actually pretty cool. I know that's not really detail that was meant to be done, but that is kind of cool. You can actually put the Matrix inside of Ultra Magnus if you want. But let's put it in the back of Orion Pax for now. You can kind of see what I mean. It does kind of fidget around when you try to put it in there. And there we go. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good looking robot. And let's talk about that posability, which he actually does have a decent amount. Rotation at the head is ball joints, so you can have him looking down. You can have him looking slightly up. Ball joints at the shoulder, so fully rotatable. And they do go outward, about a 45-degree angle. Swivel. Double elbow, which is really nice. Enough at the hand, unfortunately. No waist articulation, unfortunately. Legs do go that far forward and go that far back. They go outward this far, so decent display of them. Rotation, or it'll just pop off. That is an issue with this figure. Knee bend, about 90 degrees, and nothing at the toe unless you want to count that little bit there. So he's alright for a Voyager size. Not a lot, but you know, this is not really meant to be the main mode. This is more of a cool little evolution mode, because this is supposed to be Orion Pax evolving into Optimus Prime. And I think they did a decent job with the Orion Pax part. I think he's a really cool figure. Because to be honest, originally I bought this figure, I was just going to display it as a trailer back here with Classics Prime, and then Orion Pax standing with my Autobots. But he does have an air mode. So to get transformation started, we are going to be starting with Orion Pax here. And how we're going to want to transform him is go ahead and grab the head, bring it down with the chest plate, reach inside and grab the Optimus head. There we go. Flip it out. Take the Orion Pax head, flip it in, collapse it back in there. Take the arms, flip them up on their double hinge, and just fold the fist in. They don't really tab or anything, they just kind of float off to the side like this. Next, you're going to take the legs, flip the feet back up, rotate both of them around. And what you're going to do is there is tabs on the top, well, it's the top of the truck here. And they are going to tab onto either side of this little yellow square in the middle of Ryan Pax's chest. And I'll try to show as best I can, but you are going to want to just tab it in like so. And tab it in like so. And there you go, you have a chest piece for Optimus. Just set that to the side. And this is where the trailer comes in. Go ahead and remove this little bit of the gun. This little piece that was for the truck mode, go ahead and just flip that in. And I'll get that out of the way. Now this, it can be a little bit complicated. This can be a little hard to follow, but just start at the top here. You'll see these little side panels here have little tabs sticking out. Go ahead and grab those and just flip those up. You don't want to completely fold them in yet, and then I'll show you a reason why later. And you're going to want to get these panels down here too that I was talking about, the stickers. These you can go ahead and flip all the way off, like that. Then you're going to take the back of the trailer, go ahead and spread it open on the bottom parts of the hinge there. Grab what was the back of the trailer and bring them out on double hinges to form the feet. And then grab these arm pieces, just go ahead and bring them on out. Go ahead and bend at the elbow to give them the, or shoulder. Give them the room to rotate back like so. Panels aren't really tapping or anything, just sit there. Rotate the arms up like that. That'll get the Autobot symbol situated correctly. Then you're going to bring the arms and bring them down that hinge and use that to close up the gap. Again, and I might have to get past this piece by rotating it. But bring it down, use that to close the gap. Go ahead and come to the back and flip out these little pieces to give him his iconic little steam pipes, like so. Now for the arm, the reason I said you don't want to fold this panel down completely is it locks together the panels. As if you go ahead and fold this down first to make the bottom of the arm, then fold this down, you can hear it makes a little clicking noise that actually holds these panels in place to keep them from moving. So when you're untransforming it back to trailer mode or transferring to his truck mode, you do need to unclick this first. Otherwise, you're going to have these bending against that. It might break the tab or something, so be careful. So yeah, like I mentioned, make sure it's out of the way. Close that up first, and then that tabs into there. Now for the legs, go ahead and straighten them out. Separate them. For all these panels here, go ahead and fold this one down like that. Bring this one to the side. Bring that one to the back. And then turn that one to the side. And you're going to want to make sure you actually do it before this because it actually does tab into the inside of the leg. And that fills in his leg. You're going to do the same with this side. Go ahead and fold this out. Fold that down. Go ahead and fold that piece first. And then you're just going to wrap it around the leg like before. And tap it in. And there you have the shell from the trailer to form Optimus Prime. And now all you're going to do is take the chest piece for this. Bring it onto the back. Just line it up. You want to make sure the windows fit into the chest like that. And just push it in until you hear a click. And when you hear that click, what it is actually a spring mechanism holding his middle piece in. Kind of similar to G1 Star Saber. So whenever you want to discombobulate all this, make sure you're holding this down. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to remove this piece. Also, make sure that these windows aren't open, as if you open them, they are part of the centerpiece, so even with this down, you can't pull them out. So just make sure you have these closed up, you have this pulled down, and you should be able to pull this out with no problem. But yeah, there is Power of the Primes, Optimus Prime, in his robot mode. Oh, wait, I didn't have... Oh, there went the background. Alright, I forgot to situate his feet to make sure they're actually standing flat. That was my bad. Alright, let's go ahead and get some size comparisons in here. Let's go ahead and get Ultra Magnus here. Oh, I have a gun still singing in the background. Let's get an Ultra Magnus sitting over here. So you can see now they are a lot closer in height. In fact, I think Optimus Prime is actually slightly taller at the antennas, although Ultra Magnus beats him at the shoulders. And just to get him in the middle of these two, here's Classics Optimus Prime, who you can see Power of the Prime's Optimus Prime, this is going to get confusing, is much taller than that now. So he is about your standard leader class for these days. Go ahead and get these two out of the way. And I gotta say, a lot of people do complain about the colors and everything, and I can kind of see what they mean. You know, there's a lot of gray on this figure. The arms, while they are red and blue, are gray in a lot of other areas. And the hands are gray, which I do think looks a little off. But I gotta say, this guy, I never really liked the Titan's Return Power Master Prime and how it looked. Even the Japanese version with all of its extras, I don't think that still looks very good. I think that mold still works best as Ultra Magnus. So honestly, instead of Orion Pax, I think this figure's probably going to pass for my Power Master Prime. I mean, he has a very, very similar look to Power Master Prime with all the gray. I mean, it does give him a very bulked out look. I mean, there's not much reason other than for having a leader class Prime like this. And if you want a good idea of how big it is, if you have a Masterpiece Optimus Prime, he's actually very close in size to that. I don't have Masterpiece Optimus Prime myself, but I do know from pictures I've seen, they are very close in scale. Like, they are only like centimeters off in height. I'm not sure which one's taller. I think the Masterpiece is still slightly taller. But this could also still be a good fill-in for your Masterpiece figures if you can't afford the Masterpiece Optimus for whatever reason. Or if you just want a good idea of scale, that's about how big he is. Now, this figure, as I was complimented, does have some issues, but we'll get to those in a little bit. There was something I was going to say, and now I can't remember it. Oh, yeah. But like I said, this is going to be kind of become my Power Master Prime for me because he is a good size for it, and he does have a good look for it, and it just kind of works for me because I think this is the best mode for this guy. He does have a lot of issues, even more than Orion Pax, I would say, but I think he also looks the best like this. This is a beautiful looking Optimus Prime. And let's start with those details, like that head sculpt. And I gotta say, I think this head sculpt, from the pictures I've seen of Masterpiece Optimus, looks even better than Masterpiece Optimus. I think it's an absolutely perfect G1 Optimus Prime head sculpt. You got the antennas, you got the little more smaller antennas, you got the silver crest, you got the mouth plate, you got the nice blue eyes. It all looks really good. I also loved how they handled the chest. While this is a fake chest, I mean, really, what else would you expect from a toy like this? I love the kind of circuitry detail he's got going on in there. It all looks very nice. He's got a little bolts. He's got the headlights overhead. I wish these were painted in yellow, but can't have everything. Got the grill here, which I wish was painted in silver, but still looks good. Got the yellow for the little belt area. Got the blue crotch piece there. The arms are the perfect little square shape you expect for an Optimus Prime. Got the little Autobot symbol there. Stickers along here. Got the arrow, not painted in yellow, but it does look like the arrow you expect on Optimus Prime's arm. Got the fist molded very nicely, which was painted blue, or done in blue plastic, but I kind of understand they're trying to save money. And if you might not have noticed, this whole arm is actually painted. I mean, you look on the inside, you can actually see where they kind of cut it there to do the paint. So this whole arm, well, at least the forearm before the elbow, is actually painted in red. So there's actually quite a bit of paint. The shoulders here are actually done in red. The side piece here, along just under the windows, is red. Yellow and blue there. And I think the only major paint besides the face is some silver on the feet there. But it all looks very, very nice. Actually, are the legs in blue? No. You can see the hinges are blue, so that means it's just blue plastic. But still, there is actually more paint than there looks on this figure. And I'm glad they went through the effort, and it actually color matches very well. I mean, you can barely tell it apart from the plastic here. I think the plastic here is a... Oh, and there's a lot of red paint along the top here. So basically everything except for the windows and the elbows are painted in red. Which is really nice, because that's actually a lot of red paint. But I do really like the color matching on this. I think this is actually a slightly brighter color along here, but it's so close that it actually is kind of hard to tell, even along the arms here. You can barely tell a difference. Like, there is a difference, but it's very, very slight. So I can actually really forgive that. Oh, he actually has little toe stickers too, if you're interested, and some on the knees there. So yeah, he's a very, very nice looking Optimus Prime. And of course, you can combine his weapons up again, have him hold it, and that is even more perfect looking G1 Prime right there. However, his issues can be rather irksome. For one thing, he does have these stickers, and in this mode is most likely where these stickers are going to start peeling, as they are right there at the edge, and they will most likely get caught and stuff. Another problem for me is the arms don't peg in at all. They just sit here. I mean, granted, the hinges are very strong. They're not going to come apart or anything. But there's nothing tabbing them into Orion Pax either. I really feel like they could have had like a tab right here that could have fit into that shoulder. I mean, that's what it looks like it's meant for, is this shoulder on Orion Pax has a little hole, that little gap in it. It looks like they could have easily put a tab right here and had that tab on there. I'm not saying it would be a perfectly secure fit, but at least it would have been something. Also, you have Orion Pax's face kind of staring up at you. So if that bothers you, just grab Orion Pax's head, turn it around, put it back in there, put everything back together. though, is they did try to cover up the back more than I expected. Like, you can't tell quite as easily as you think you could that this transforms. I mean, all the panels from the trailer fold away really nicely. They form into the arms and the legs. They do stick off the arm a little bit, but not too badly. The back, I mean, besides Orion Pack's arms and the legs being there, it actually blends in pretty well. I mean, even Orion Pack's legs could kind of just pass for a regular backpack for a Transformer. The one that really sticks out about him having a robot mode is the arms sitting there. And some things that might bug you is that the ankles are rather thin looking. I mean, they're not going to break, but they are weird aesthetic if that bothers you. Plus, also right here, the chest piece doesn't go quite all the way outward, so you do have this little gap here, and you see a lot of gray right there. So there are a couple issues with this figure. My biggest being just the arms not pegging it. I really feel like they could have fixed that. But besides that, he's actually a really, really great figure. As far as gimmicks go, he really only has one. You can open up the chest here, and there is enough room using the double hinges to get the windows fully out. Might get caught along the top here because it is a very tight fit. Then you can open up the truck windows as well, and there's your matrix inside. If you actually want to go through the effort of pulling the legs down, pulling Orion Pax's chest and head out of the way, you can actually get a light behind it to have the matrix shining, which is a really nice effect. Although when you remove it, you do have Orion Pax's head just kind of sitting there. But if you have it folded face down like I do, it's not quite as noticeable. And yeah, pretty nice looking matrix. No way for him to hold it, but like I said, if you get a light shining behind it, you can see it's actually already starting to glow. Mainly because it's completely like clear plastic along the back. It does look really nice. And you can pop it out and put any Type Master or Power Master in the middle instead if you want. And you can also use this for a head if you want, and it looks rather odd. But there is all that if you want to do that. Oh, come on. Get in there. There we go. And, you know, that still looks like a good matrix. I wish there was a way for him to hold it, but it's a good-looking matrix. Now, getting it back into there, because it doesn't have a set place, it's kind of just sat there into a certain spot where it can't move, can be kind of difficult. I mean, you can certainly get it in there just fine, but with my pudgy fingers, it is rather hard to grab. So my best way of grabbing it is there are these little tabs sticking off the front of the matrix. Hold it like that. Just hope you don't drop it in there. And just kind of push it in there until it wedges into the spot it's supposed to stay in. And when you close the truck windows, you do want to close them a certain way, as there is one side that has a little tab piece sticking off, so you want to make sure you close the window on this side first, and then that one. And then from the front chest plate, it doesn't matter, just make sure it doesn't get caught on that, which you can kind of see happen for a second. So yeah, really, really cool Optimus Prime. I'm really glad to see an Optimus Prime with the Matrix gimmick again. I wish the Matrix had more set places sitting there, but with all the transforming it does, I guess I kind of understand. I believe the only thing I haven't covered yet is articulation, in which you do get a swivel at the head. It's technically ball jointed, it can't do much, but you can get like some side-to-side movement like so. It doesn't look up at all, but it does look down. So you can look down at Bumblebee and tell Bumblebee to go screw off because he's useless in the movies. And you can rotate it around as I showed. The arms do rotate. They do go outward and can go all the way upward from the transformation, like so. Or get caught in the pipe there. But it can go pretty far outward. Swivel. You do get just over 9 degrees on the elbow. Or no, yeah, just barely over 9 degrees. Nothing at the fist, which frustrates me. If you're not going to get painted, you could at least have it be a separate piece to swivel, like Optimus did. No waist articulation or either, unfortunately. But you do get a plastic ratchet in the hip that goes that far forward, that far back. Not ratcheting outward, but it does go that far outward, which gives you a pretty good spread. Swivel at the hip. Doesn't go, well, it can go full 360, but you gotta get past this piece, the middle card piece, because otherwise it gets stuck against it. But even from there, you still get a decent amount. As you saw, a hinge at the knee that goes over 90 degrees. But it is a little loose on mine, no ratchet in it. You do get foot tilt, and you do get forward and backward movement, and it's on double hinge, so you actually get quite a bit of that if you need your Optimus to really bend his foot out, like so. You can see there when I'm trying to use articulations where that arm not pegging in really gets on my nerves. But you can get quite the pose going using those feet, which is really nice. Or if you just simply want your Optimus to have his legs more splayed, you can actually get it going pretty far. That's as far as I can get going without him tipping over. Which is a decent amount. I mean, you can really get a wider pose if you want, like so. Which is really good. I think it's a really good figure. A lot of posability that we haven't gotten leader classes in a while. Even Ultra Magnus didn't have quite that much foot articulation. So, overall, I think he's a really, really good figure. Is he perfect? No. No, not by any means. But I don't think even Masterpiece figures are perfect. I don't think it really is a perfect Transformer, in my opinion. I think he's a really great figure. I think he's honestly well worth the $45, especially getting Orion Pax that's G1 accurate, and just the concept of having Orion Pax transform into Optimus Prime. I think he pulls it off a lot better than Hot Rod and Rodimus. Which you think those two would have an easier time considering they're so similar in looks, other than just Rodimus being a little older looking, but how his arms come out and shoulders come out are much worse than Optimus here. Now, granted, like I said, I do wish Optimus' shoulders pegged in, and he has the worst vehicle mode of the two. But I do think his trailer mode still looks really good. The truck mode is okay. The Orion Pax mode is really good, and the Optimus Prime mode is excellent. I know there's a lot of gray and everything, but like I said, he works for me as a Power Master Prime. As kind of an evolutionized Power Master Prime. So yeah, I do highly, highly recommend this figure. He's not going to be for everybody, not at all, but I do think he's a really good Optimus Prime and a really good Orion Pax and everything. So, this has been Nerd Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and hope you have a great day. Take care.